What's this thing tethered to? Oh, okay, I see. Okay. That's what's going on. All right. There we go. Something kind of like that. All right. Well, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I all hope you're having a good Monday. It's pretty soggy and nasty outside. And if you had any eBay orders with me, they are out the door at the post office. I did take a walk over there. I waited for the rain to subside. We did have some pretty inclement weather come through my neck of the woods, but at least for now, it seems to be over. So I'm just trying to tighten this up. There we go. Okay, that's better. So I hope you're all having a fantastic, fantastic Monday. I'm just kind of like laying back, maybe cracking my toes, laying back, just trying to have a nice, quiet, peaceful, non-eventful Monday. But anyway, if you like what you see and you enjoy the content, hit that thumbs up button. It always helps, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Knock out that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button. It always helps. So like this live stream. Check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box of every video and short that I do here on YouTube. Again, if you have outstanding orders with me, they're out the door already. So they're on their way to their respective customers. Unfortunately, 2 of the orders I could not offer refunds for shipping because the cost of the shipping was more than what the customers paid for. I actually lost $2 in 2 transactions. So, but that's fine. I'll make that up someplace else. But again, do me a huge, huge favor, everybody. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. We are on the verge of reaching 1,600 subscribers, but I can't do that unless I get your help. And hit that thumbs up button. Always hit that thumbs up button. Hit that like button, folks. We're going to get into a little bit of hobby talk and religion and philosophy in this one. Because a few of you, I can read the room as far as my regular audience is concerned. I definitely got to read on the room that many of you are like myself. You don't have to exactly be a Trump supporter or a Republican or somebody that's overly religious. Maybe you're agnostic. Maybe, you know, I hate dare say atheist. You know, with myself, I wear the Mjolnir, which is the symbol of Norse mythology with Odin and Thor or Tyr, the god of war. Either in Germanic or Icelandic culture, I wear it out of respect for my roots and my heritage. I do have the crucifix above me here in my living room above my window. You know, I do have the good book in my bedroom. You know, obviously, if some of you are regular viewers and subscribers to the channel, you'll know that it's been a rough ride for the past 15 months. What's going on? What's a spring trap? I'm cool now. I'm an ordinary nobody, man. I'm not trying to be anybody. I'm not trying to be a spokesman or any of that dumb stuff. You know, I'm just a guy that likes to talk, you know, and thinks a lot. But anyway, again, shameless plug to the channel, folks. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps. I'm pushing for 1,600 subscribers. We're almost there. And always, always, always hit that like button. If you want to support the channel financially, check out my eBay store. The link is below and take you right to my eBay store. Any outstanding eBay orders that I had are now out the door. I did take a walk to the post office, so that's all said and done. But thank you, everybody, again. Always smash that like button, hit that thumbs up button. It's probably the one thing I'm always going to persist on. That's what helps this channel to grow and helps to bring my viewer base together. Again, I'm not trying to be a leader or a spokesperson or anybody like that. I'm just somebody that thinks quite a bit. Do I play Roblox? No, I don't play Roblox, but I do follow what happens with Roblox. Unfortunately, I followed the whole story, what happened with Schlep. I'm actually subscribed to Creekcraft and Schlep because of that whole PDF file thing that happened with Schlep, how he's been calling out these predators. And good for that kid, good for that young man for doing so. Good for Creekcraft for organizing his little raids and protests that he does in Roblox to get the point across that without the consumer, you're going to go broke. And if you fuck with the fans, you know what's going to happen. So, but anyway, I wanted to talk about this because, lately, if any of you are regular viewers to the channel, you'll know what I've been through and what happened recently. It's been a huge topic here on the channel recently. Because of what this woman did to me. She cheated on me on Valentine's and whatnot, and I've been really trying to make efforts to move on with my life and move on with myself. I've been taking power walks, except for yesterday and today. Today the weather was really just shitty, so I'm taking a break. I didn't do anything really yesterday. I pretty much just, I'm sitting back relaxing for the past 2 days. But a lot of you, I think I have a good read of the room when it comes to my viewer base, that many of you, you don't have to be exactly religious. You could believe in whatever you so choose. We do have freedom of religion in this country. But, lately with everything that's happened, it's been very tough for me to... Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that sentiment. Yeah, I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it. When I found out that this woman was sleeping with this guy behind my back, especially having to find out the day of Valentine's Day, it was the most awful thing that happened since the death of my father last year. And by the way, if my mother's watching, she's been asking me for certain types of info. I'm not going to get into it, because that's between family members and very private. So she's got whatever information she was asking for. She actually sent me a photo of my dad's headstone. I'm gonna have to make my way up to New York sooner than later, to see my dad's gravesite and to spend some time with my family. I really need it. I have airline credit that I built up. I'm gonna have to see what I can do to organize this with my family. Maybe sometime after tax season, because I haven't filed my taxes yet. I got a few big bills to pay coming up. Once I get that out of the way and I kind of know where I stand financially, I kind of want to go up and see my family. I want to see my nieces and my nephews up there. I still have a box for my nephew for his T-ball stuff. I haven't got around to fulfilling my oath, so to speak, to my sister. But anyway, with that being said, a lot of you, and I do have a good read on the room. You have to be able to read the room as a content creator. And I get the distinct feeling many of you, might not be exactly religious, diehard religious people, but you have a belief in some kind of deity or some kind of God, whether it be Jesus or Odin, or pick your God, whatever it is. Again, I don't wear the Catholic or Christian crucifix. I choose to wear the Mjolnir in order to respect my roots and my heritage, because my ancestry comes from Germanic roots. So I tend to wear this. But I do believe in, or at least I try to believe in, something bigger than myself. I'm one of those guys that I'm not exactly a Catholic, I'm not exactly a Christian, not exactly a pagan either. This more represents an amalgamation of my belief system. That there is, at least in my opinion, I would like to think that there's something bigger than myself. But then there are times like recent where I really start to doubt and question my own faith and my own belief system, because this society we live in and this world we live in is so goofy and so violent and so fucked up. Of course, I know the story of Adam and Eve and original sin, and Mary of Magdalene, who committed adultery and Jesus forgave her. He who is without sin, let he cast the first stone. I'm aware of all that stuff. Stories of forgiveness and second chances and whatnot. But, when these things happen to you as consistently as they've happened to me over the past 15 months, and actually, even prior to that, a lot of things have happened over the past 10 years or so, where I have to question people. It's not so much the deity that I question. If we are all, according to dogma and myth or religion or whatever you want to call it, if we are all God's children, how the fuck can some man with a beard and mustache and long hair and a white robe create a species as messed up as us? I look at all these collectibles that I have around me. I look at my baseball cards and I'm selling on eBay. I look at all this stuff. I look at my sneakers and my jerseys, my hats. It just seems so messed up that, we have this ultimate being that by our own admission can see all, hear all, and knows all, but just can't seem to get a grasp on controlling his creation. And I know some smart ass out there is going to say, well, it's free will. There are always these contradictions within religion that always make me question, like, who sat down and wrote all of this stuff? You know what I mean? You could pick the King James Bible. You could tell me the story of Odin and how he tore out his own eye and threw it into the well of knowledge, all that kind of stuff, and hung himself from the tree of life to get his answers and all that. You can tell me all that kind of stuff. It just seems that, for all of these powerful entities that we believe in as gods, that why would you create a species this fucked up? I look at the Iranian women's national soccer team, and look at the religious fanaticism over there and what that's caused, that these women are afraid to go home because you're supposed to be, a willing slave to all of this stuff. And it's just like, Jesus, man. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But with all that being said, it makes me wonder, like, does religion and does the belief in some sort of God have any space or any room in these hobbies? And again, I know my viewer base, I see some of the same people. You're always going to have your idiot trolls out there and your dumbasses who are just, they just want a shiny object shined in front of their face because, they've already wore themselves out masturbating too much. You know what I mean? So now they need a new form of entertainment called the internet. So, unfortunately, you can't, some people just don't take things. I mean, you shouldn't take everything seriously, but, there's a time and place for certain conversations and certain things. And lately, my faith in a lot of stuff has come under question because, man, people are just a mess. They're just a mess. I'm grateful I have all these baseball cards and collectibles and sneakers and shirts and hats and all this cool stuff, but really doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, Jesus and his, at that time, the beginning, like the core group of his apostles, was it Peter, I think, whose coat got stolen? You guys are going to have to remind me of this. There's a story where Peter's coat was gone or stolen after they slept underneath a bridge out in the middle of the desert somewhere. And Jesus was like, well, if a thief took your coat, give him, give them your cloak, give them anything else that they need, because thieves are poor of spirit. And he says, how, I think it was Peter. I'm pretty sure it was Peter. He says, how am I to keep warm? And then Jesus hands him his blanket. And then this guy puts his head down and says, no, I don't want it. No, thank you. As like a guilt trip. I think Jesus was the one who took it just to teach his apostles a lesson that, if you believe in God, God will keep you warm and strong and sustained. That was kind of the lesson behind all that. But, you can only hide inside of your hobbies for so long before reality starts to encroach on you, like it has with me. And all of you saw what I went through. I didn't ask to be cheated on by this woman. I really didn't. I didn't ask for that kind of hurt. I did nothing. There's nothing to justify why this woman did this. No justification. It doesn't make sense. Just like a lot of other things. Like there was an incident that happened here on Saturday, as most of you know, in my former home of New York. I'm now in South Charlotte, North Carolina, where mobs of young teenagers have been taking over malls. It's happened in the Bronx. It's happened in Long Island, where these flash mobs of these, teenagers, these lawless teenagers, have been going into these malls and causing all sorts of chaos. And that happened right here on the property this weekend, where our kids, good kids, riding bicycles, very old-fashioned, old-school kids, they play in the dirt. They make up their own games. They ride their skateboards. They ride their bikes. They'll do chalk drawings. They'll run around and, like regular kids, normal kids. But yet you got these other kids, these teenagers, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. There had to be like 20 of them. I couldn't get an exact beat on how many of them there were. But they came in here looking to cause trouble. And our kids came running up to us adults saying, hey, what's all this about? And those kind of kids are very astute and very smart. They're smarter than you think. Just because they're children doesn't mean that they're unintelligent. Because they came up to us, and rightfully so, came up to the adults and said, hey, listen, they broke into the pool. And, let me tell you, I've never seen this many kids. It looked like a schoolyard trip. And these kids are clearly looking to start trouble. And they broke into the pool here. So who's in the right? And I'm only going to say this to the person that I told this to, that our kids were okay. No matter how much good you do, you're always going to have that one person that won't even look you in your face, will give you dirty, smug looks. I don't care if you're black, fat, gay, trans, if you're trying to be more important than what you really are, because at the end of the day, we all eat shit, burp, fart, and die. Don't come off with that cavalier attitude that somehow, you're bigger and better. Meanwhile, you're only paying half the price that the rest of us are for rent simply because you work here. Bullshit. And I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it, and it's going to lead me to say something eventually when the time comes. I'm just keeping it in my pocket for now. But the kids did the right thing. And then I'm going to get dirty looks and treated like a piece of shit for doing the right thing. That's going to come to a fucking swift end. Mark my words. The whole point of me talking about this is that, everybody here, we're having such a good time and having fun and laughing. We did like a little impromptu karaoke thing. We're sitting out there eating snacks, having a few beers, and just, being good neighbors to each other. And the kids are running around. We're watching the kids, and they're walking up to us, telling, breaking our chops as adults and making fun of us and everything, which was cool. But we're talking about good kids here, and you can't even sit down and enjoy yourself without somebody else ruining it. Just like the knife-wielding maniac that's still, I don't know how the fuck he's still living on this property, who pulled out a knife this big, and I had to almost lose my lease for somebody else's bad behavior. I got questioned by the police the other day out in the parking lot here in Walmart because the alcoholics and the drug addicts and the pot smokers that are former homeless people, that I firmly believe Mecklenburg County kind of threw that onto the laps of the people that run this place. I don't really think it's their fault. I think because of our Democrat city council, they've kind of forced it onto these properties. So now they've taken to sitting in the Walmart parking lot getting drunk. And one of the police officers recognized me, and I recognized him when I was coming home from getting some snacks. And he really didn't question me, but he asked me, would you be willing to volunteer some information, because I see a lot of shit that a lot of people around here don't see, and I hear a lot of things that a lot of people around here don't hear, because I'm sick and tired of being people's fucking floor mat to wipe their feet off on, and I ratted some people out because I'm not going to allow myself to be lumped in with the same kind of category as other people are. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, there's been this, since this time last year, there's been all this crazy shit happening to me or around me. And I know how people see me. They see the sneakers, they see the nice clothes, they see the hats, they see the baseball jerseys, and they all think either I'm made out of money or I'm an undercover cop, which I'm not, or I've got money coming out of my ass, or I have food to give away, and I get tired of having to give away handouts, and I've been trying to put an end to it. Right now, there's a sign on my door. It says, "Please do not disturb," with Velcro on it. And then when I go out, I don't know if my live stream. There we go. Okay. God, look at my belly. It's because I had a big fat lunch today. Sorry about that. I might have to cut this live stream short because, if we're under threat of power outages, I'd rather conserve the electric. So forgive me for that with these brownouts that we just had. So if the live stream goes down, folks, please forgive me for that, because I'm expecting the lights to flash and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we were warned about it. I think we even got emails here just to be extra careful just in case. But yeah, you have a lot of godless people, man, and then you got things that go on in your personal life that can really interfere with things, and I try to live a nice, quiet life. I'm at that age now where I'm done being a wild child, man. But you got these people, especially in today's society, where the internet and TikTok and all this shit has made people so fucking irresponsible that their behavior is out there. I'm a good example of that. Look what happened with this girl. Sleeping with another man while she's supposed to be with me, was supposed to be here for Valentine's Day. I don't know how long. I mean, now I think about it in hindsight, and as the old saying goes, hindsight is 20/20. Why all the time she would say, "Oh, I'm working. Oh, I'm busy. Oh, I'm this. I'm that. Oh, leave me alone. I'll call you later." I should have seen the signs. And then when I discovered her YouTube channel with this guy literally dry humping her on a bed. And you've seen the memes, I'm sure, on my community page. I didn't ask for that. I did nothing to deserve that. My sex life is very private. For somebody to flaunt themselves around like that, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. Holding each other and being cutesy is one thing, but if you're practically humping each other, it makes me question my faith. What God at that point? What God? What God could or would create creatures like us to allow for such behavior? That's why I can't believe in one specific religion. Oh, I believe there's something bigger than myself. But Catholicism doesn't exactly have it right. Christianity doesn't exactly have it right. Norse paganism doesn't exactly have it right. It makes me wonder, how can you create such a fucking violent, awful species as a deity and allow these things to happen? And of course, the religious zealots will say, well, it has to do with free will. Give me a break. There's always a rationality or a rationale for human behavior. To me, there's no excuse. Someone actually said, why don't you forgive her? You should learn to forgive. I can't. I've forgiven way too much, because what do I get at the end of the day? Loneliness, depression, sadness, emptiness. I feel like I've been used. I feel like nobody gives a damn about me. I feel like nobody cares about my feelings. Nobody cares about how my well-being is. I get left holding the shit end of the stick. When I fall into my hobbies here, like I made that YouTube short today of those opera gloves, those leather opera gloves I'm trying to restore. That's what helps me to maintain my belief in some sort of deity. But if I'm just sitting in a room watching TV, or I'm staring at the clouds or something like that, I start wondering, it's like, how could this be? What God could or would create such an awful fucking species to cause women to cheat on their men, to cause one man to pull a knife out on another man? You know, when it comes to the death of my father, that's natural. Death happens. It's part of our existence. It's part of our reality. Just like with my buddy Wolf, he died from a heart attack. I think he died of a broken heart, personally. But death is a part of life. It's what defines us. But all of this other stuff, it just doesn't make sense. You know, I look at all my collectibles. I look at my Optimus Prime and my Soundwave and my Megatron or Megatrons. Megatroni, Tronuses, Megatronuses, Optimus Primuses, something like that. You know, I look at all these collectibles and it's like, you know, life could be so simple if people would just stop fucking it up for everybody else. You know, Saturday, I didn't ask for all that bullshit that happened here. We didn't cause that. The kids here didn't cause that. That's because of more godless outside forces. And then you become guilty by association simply for doing the right thing. Fuck you. And this one person, I'm getting sick and tired of her fucking dirty looks and her nasty attitude towards me. It's going to get to a point where I'm going to have to write to her corporate office and fucking fix her wagon. You know, like last time there was all these corporate people walking around. I said hi right to this woman's face. She put her eyes down, didn't even respond. One day when I fill up my laundry cart again, I'm going to say something. I'm done with the fucking nasty attitude that I've been getting from this one individual. That shit's going to fucking stop. When I talk about social credit score, I bet you that this person didn't do like what I did when this awful day happened over here. But some of these people believe, think, and feel that because they have a certain skin color and a certain body shape or whatever the fuck, or, you know, whether they're into men or into fucking women, if you're gay, straight, whatever the fuck it is, that somehow that makes them, you know, socially superior. What do they call that? A credit score? I actually rank higher on the credit score table. Volunteering at children's hospitals, volunteering at churches, volunteering myself or at St. Francis de Sales to clean up after Superstorm Sandy, trying to rescue my fellow Americans over at the World Trade Center site. Excuse me, folks. Let me take the time to answer this message. I'll be right back, folks. This is an eBay customer. Well, here we go again with somebody who cannot accept that certain baseball cards that I've listed over at my eBay store have a certain dollar value attached to them. As a result, at the end of this live stream, it looks like I'm going to have to take a screen capture of Card Ladder and Sports Card Pro and show that this Colton Cowser real auto out of 75, a red ink auto out of 75 is actually valued anywhere between $70 to $80. That's what they're going for. And this cheap person is probably trying to get it for $20. That's not going to happen. Spend the money, folks. You know, I'm not going to be Ken Golden and say you're too cheap to spend money, but these things have a certain value for a certain reason. It's called supply and demand. And if you can't understand that, why I price my cards the way I do, and actually I usually come at comp and sometimes a little bit lower than that. If you can't afford it, then don't look at it. I'm sorry, man. I have to be true this way. This is another example of somebody trying to get over, like the Barry Bonds auto. Oh, I'll pay you $400. No. Two separate price guides had valued that card at about $1,000, and I sold it finally for $800. This Colton Cowser red ink real auto from Heritage is an $80 card or $70 card, something like that. Too bad. I mean, man, you got people out there that are just fucking cheap ass. I'm sorry, man. I have to say it. I don't want to sound like Ken Golden here, but you got certain people that want to get over. They want something for nothing. They can't accept the price of what things are. And I'm not going to fuck myself over again for another customer. That's not happening no more. I've got wise to the sports card hobby. All right, people want something for nothing, and then when they acquire that something for nothing, they'll resell it for 3 times what it is. Sorry, that's not happening. If you can't accept my prices, shop somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. You know, I have a pretty loyal customer base, and things are valued what they're valued at. I don't set these prices here. Like I sold one of these already, the Aaron Judge PP1 Paw Patrol insert. I sold a copy of this for $85 recently. They've now gone up in value to $100, just about, give or take. And I'm almost ready to sell this because, of course, I have his Bowman Chrome 2013 draft pick refractor in an SGC 10, which is about $1,600 at this point. PSA 10s of these are going for like $300. Raw, they're now going for $100. I do have the PP2 right here, but that's why I keep these cards here, because guys think they're slick, that they're going to get something for nothing. Too bad, because you want it at your price. This is not a buyer's market. As far as I'm concerned, these sports cards are my property, and I'll sell them for whatever I want to sell them for. And if you can't afford it, I don't know what else to tell you. I come at comps and sometimes lower than comps, but at the end of the day, you're not getting a $100 card for $20. That's not happening. Bullshit. Anyway, what's up, Ziggy? Long time no see. Fuck that, man. You know, I get so sick and tired. You know, I hate to deviate from this conversation, but, you know, the simple fact of the matter is a lot of these sports card jackasses, and that's why you see all this drama going on in the sports card hobby right now. This Fred McGriff is going for like, I think, $40 or $50. It's his refractor auto out of 50. You know, if I were to list this up there, somebody will try to get this for $10 when the value of this thing is like 50. Fuck you, spend the money. If you can't afford it, find someone else to buy it for. But don't leave me messages saying, oh, there's plenty of room for that. I'm like, well, Card Ladder and Sports Card Pro both have it priced at the same price. So if you can't accept that, the problem is you. When you come at when these so-called sports card collectors are trying to get something for cheap, that's because they're either looking to grade it to flip, or they're just looking to get it raw to flip at my expense. That's not happening. That Barry Bonds auto, when I sold it, taught me everything I need to know about the modern day hobby. People are fucking cheap, and they're greedy. It's more to do with greed than spending money. These people are doing everything they can to buy off of one guy just to flip it for themselves so that they can profit off of somebody else. And I say, fuck you, that's not happening. So if you can't afford that Colton Cowser autograph, I don't know what to tell you. Find another place to get it. Because 2 different sources, I got an approximation and comped that card from Card Ladder and from Sports Card Pro, and they both say the same thing about the value of that card. I priced it appropriately. Too bad. Too bad. You know, I have good customers. Here it is right here. This is the card they're trying to chase after right now with that message. The real auto, red out of 75, Colton Cowser from Heritage. That's the one this is the one that this person is bitching about. Sorry. It's a $70 card or $80 card, something like that I priced it at, and it's priced appropriately. I'm not going any lower. You really think you're going to get this for $20? Fuck you. That's not happening. Especially with when I get nasty messages like this one I just got on eBay. Not happening, Jack. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. When people try to get over. When people try to get over, it's like, you know, don't these people have any fucking, don't they have a conscience? Don't they have a fucking soul in their brains, in their hearts, in their minds? Don't they have a conscience? I would like to think so. I would hope so. But don't complain. And it's been happening more. I've noticed it's happening more and more. This will never be a buyer's market. This will always be a seller market. I am the seller. It's my property. And if I decide to sell this remote control for a certain price, I will. Period. It's mine. And I can do whatever with it I damn please. Not to get into politics and to get away from the conversation I've been having, but this is why leftists are constantly pushing this narrative. Y'all have nothing and be happy. Bullshit. Because everybody wants something for nothing. Make better choices in life. Make more money. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You're not getting a $70, $80 card for $20. Fuck you. Trying to get your card. Yeah, what's going on, Big Mama? Yeah, again, I just got another message just now on eBay about this Colton Cowser. So, you know, and I get tired of it because people just can't accept the fact that certain cards have a certain value. Here, it's like this Cal Rally. This is a Toily Cream Blue out of $199. Currently, I think book value between Card Ladder and Sports Card Pro has this thing priced at, I think, $50 raw, $40 raw, $50 raw. I haven't listed it yet. You know, there's certain cards I'm holding on to for dear life at this point. That's one of them. I really don't want to part with that card. But here, the last one I sold of these was $85. Now they're going for $100, and I'm going to price it accordingly. And if you don't have the money for it, don't complain. I'm sorry. There are things that I want in life that I can't have right now at this moment. Like I want a brand new car. I need a new car bad. You know, the car's completely falling apart. The cruise control's fucked up. You know, it's got electrical wiring issues. It's got the liftgate arm in the back of the car broke. You know, I'm sick and tired of fixing the thing. It's got a brand new transmission. That ran me $3,000. So I'm done pouring money into it. I'm going to drive the thing into the ground, but eventually I need to get a new car. But it's not in the cards right now for me. So I can't covet that. Do not covet thy neighbor's goods. Here we are again with religion. Do not covet thy neighbor's goods. If it's not meant for me to have a new car right now, oh well, there's nothing I could do about it. I just kind of have to make the best of with what I've got. By the way, folks, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Also, hit that thumbs up button. Always hit that like button, that thumbs up button. It helps the channel to grow immensely, so that this way the channel circulates in the algorithm. Also, check out my eBay store, which I've been talking about. The link is in the description box below of this live stream and every video in short that I do here on YouTube. Shameless eBay over. But, you know, again, to my regular customers, I think my customers know, you know, where I stand with a lot of my orders. I tend to sell at comps, and sometimes I'll offer 10% off. I'll offer 5% off. You know, I'll take a couple dollars off, and you'll get automatic well, not really automatic, but you'll get offers through your emails, through your eBay account, if I do offer some type of discount for that card. But don't come at me demanding that I set the price lower because you said so. Fuck you. Some of you sports card hacks out there are not collectors. You are fucking profiteers. You're nothing but fucking trench coat wearing, fake watch salespeople in a back alley behind a dumpster somewhere, selling kiddie porn. Fuck you guys, honestly. And this is what makes the hobby suck. That's why I haven't bought wax, because the hobby is just fucking awful. The hobby has become awful these days. I take so much greater pleasure talking about Transformers toys, sneakers, hats, jerseys, Star Trek stuff. I find so much solace in those hobbies. And when I start talking about sports cards, I start feeling aggravated, like it's something personal. Like it's I can't even explain it to you. It's like finding out that I got cancer. I'm not making fun of cancer people, but it's like finding out that another tragedy has happened. Like, it makes me stressed talking about it. Anything for the almighty dollar to these nitwits. And the hobby is doing it to themselves. You want to know why sneaker culture died? Because of things like what just happened just now on eBay, with somebody complaining that I'm pricing my cards too high. Tough shit. I use 2 different sources to comp my cards. And if I really get stuck at a price, I'll do an eBay search, a physical eBay search. And if I can't find my exact card, I'll price it close to something else. So I can imagine, like, I've been thinking about listing my Paul Skeens Red out of 5 Mojo Refractor from Bowman Chrome, the Prospect. The base Red out of 5 over at Fanatics auction sold for $3,200. I can imagine if I sold that card for $3,200. Excuse me. If I were to sell mine for $3,400, because it is a Mojo, and then the next one above that would be a Shimmer, and then the Mini Diamond, and then whatever else is out there. You know what I mean? These cards are priced the way they are. And if you can't afford it, I don't want to sound like Ken Golden again, but if it's out of your price range, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, it's Trump's fault. It's capitalism. Capitalism sucks. Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you. Do like what I do. Sell things on eBay so you can afford stuff. It's ridiculous. Well, I lost complete track of this conversation talking about God and hobbies and things like that. But in some way, this does have to do with religion, because to me, when people do things like this, even on eBay, to try to get over on somebody else, it's pure fucking evil. Plain and simple. It's evil. Things have a value. Things have a price. Everything fucking costs money. I know that Jesus himself went crazy when he saw that goats were being sacrificed and gold and silver was being exchanged for the blood of cattle in his name or in God's name. And he flipped out and he's like, I'm a God of mercy, not sacrifice. And he's flipping over tables and you've desecrated this hollow ground, and he's whipping these people. Jeez, if Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, or Odin, the Norse god, or Muhammad, or any fucking deity, if we had a deity touch ground here, now at this point in time, he'd need like a fucking minigun to punish people. Oh, here we go. There's the response. How much you want to bet this is a response? Yeah, this is a response. Let me read this quick. Just like I said, this person's trying to get it for cheap. So here's what I'm going to do, folks. Hold on one second. Don't go nowhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recomp this card using the app, all because... Okay, I'm back. Sorry, folks. Time to prove a point. Because when I am right, I am right. And we're about to prove it again, live on camera. Fucking people. Ooh, I'm running out of ink. Ah, shit. Nobody's going to be able to see that. Yeah, my black ink is running out, folks, so I'm going to have to reprint this. It's not fair to show you this. So let me replace my ink cartridge, and I'm going to reprint this again. Cheap motherfucker. Give me a break. Let me do this. Again, thanks to my eBay customers for the printer ink. Yeah, this ink, that ink is running out. But that's okay. We're going to prove a point right here on camera, folks. Just give me a few minutes while I replace my black ink cartridge, and I'll reprint this. So if the live stream gets interrupted again, please forgive me. Fucking cheap motherfuckers, man. Yeah, you buying that comp? Well, I just comped the card, idiot. Yeah, you gotta love these fuckers, don't you? You gotta love these fuckers. So let me wait for my printer to do a maintenance check on itself with that new black ink cartridge, and then I'll show you the printout. So I am right with my price. I priced the card at $70. It comes in at around $68, something like that, through the eBay scanner and the card ladder tool that's built into eBay that I have. I'll show it to you in a little bit. That thing's going to take a while too. So hang tight, folks. Let me go use the restroom. I'll be back. Time to prove. And this is the one thing about my life that fucking sucks. I'm sick and tired of having to prove myself right and prove the world wrong. This happens throughout every aspect of my life, that the fucking world is wrong. I am right. And at least I can back that up with facts. Fucking inbred idiots. This happens so much in my life where I get sick and tired of proving people wrong. When they are wrong, and I am right. So give me one moment here, folks. I'm going to print these out again because I want to show you, so that this way you'll see that I am telling the truth. All right. Let's see what we got. Hot off the press, folks. Hot off the press, folks. It sounds better already with the new ink cartridge. All right, and all the other colors are good. I actually set it for draft settings so it could use as little ink as possible. So I'm going to show you the whole conversation up to this point. So he's talking about he or she. I don't know what kind of person this is. This is a real one auto out of 75, Colton Cowser. It's a red ink auto. Pretty rare. Pulling autos out of Heritage is pretty tough. So I pulled this on camera a while back. You have so much room. You have much room on this. Seems overpriced with no PSA slab. Just wondered. Right off the bat goes to show a lack of intellect because the English via text is just awful. You have so much room on this. Seems overpriced with no PSA slab. So here's my response. That's what they comp for. Sports Card Pro and Card Ladder both concur. Everything has a price. So here's the arrogant response. I pay what comps tell me. Cowser's market has dropped from those sales. I think $30. Who the fuck is this person to set prices? It's my car. I'm going to set the prices what I see in the market. I think $30 is fair. If you do it for that, let's get a deal done. Thanks. So what did I do? Sent them this. Here's the most recent sale as of December 28, 2025, which is not that long ago. $68. So I priced mine at $70. If I were to go lower, I'd lower my price to $65 at best, at most. Now I know the image is reversed, so I'm going to do this so people can read this in the proper way. There it is. So who's right and who's wrong here? This card's been sitting at this price for months. Months. And somebody trying to get over for cheap so that they can slab it or probably flip it themselves. Fuck you and fuck you. I am right, you are wrong. Again. But I love the English this person uses. You have much room, and I want to show you the English. The English is funny on this, folks. I'm sorry. I hate to make fun of people. This person may have a real mental issue, but you see it right there. You have much room on this. Seems overpriced with no PSA slab. Just wondered. Who writes like this? See, the proper way to write this in proper English would be, is there any room for negotiation? It seems a bit overpriced without it being slabbed in a PSA holder. That's how you would write it, proper English. I love English. This is like one of those people that pronounces often. It's often. T is silent. Damn it. Oh, it's one of those pet peeves I have. I can't stand it when people say often. It's often. T silent, motherfucker. T silent, motherfucker. Do a little neck cracking there, kind of loosen the juices. Let the juice flow through you. But this is ridiculous. And here we go again. I proved him, and I'm probably not going to get a response now that they saw this. So I'm proven right once again. So there are people out there that I think, I have a high enough feedback rating and enough sales. I have almost 3,000 items that I sold. And my feedback counter should reset to 100% any day now. And it clearly says $68 over the past 3 months. Last sold $68 in 2025. So that's the price I set it at. Whoops. I would sell it maybe for $65. And if I'm feeling generous, I would sell it for 60 bucks. I'm not selling it for no $30. Get the fuck out of here. Jeez. These people, these people think they're slick. They really think they're slick. And this is another case of another probably young jerk-off who over or underestimates their opponent. When I am right, I am right. Ugh. God, it gets tiring, folks. It gets so tiring having to deal with the same kind of people again and again. This is one of the annoying things. I want to say this is when God's strength shines through. If that's one thing that my father taught me when he was alive, when you know you're fucking right, you fight tooth and nail to prove it. And if they got their feelings versus their facts, I'm sorry, if you're fighting against their feelings and you have facts to counter their feelings, excuse me for that, then go after them. Go after them. My facts don't care about this person's feelings. If they can't afford the $70 price tag, I would lower it to 65, maybe as low as 60. But here's another example of an idiot. Well, where's his information from? Where's he getting his info from? I've got stats. I've got numbers. I literally have a fucking graph. I hope this person's watching. I literally have a graph. This is as of right now, this live stream, what it's going for. I priced it accordingly. I win again, like always. It's like the woman last year who falsely accused me of shit. Then I had to fucking hire an attorney just to find out something I already knew, that I was innocent. Fucking people. Oh, he's a 9/11 fraud and was never there and 20 miles away. Yeah, go tell that to my union and the fucking three legal teams that I had that fought for my case. Challenge them and see what happens. Fucking morons. This is the story of my life. Having to constantly prove and prove and prove and prove and prove and prove. It's like helping those kids outside, our neighborhood kids that were scared of these little 14-year-old wannabe hoodlums that have their hats like this, grabbing their crotches, and the girls are wearing tighter jeans than women that are in their 30s and 40s, showing off their little rear ends, fucking causing havoc and mayhem here on the property. And I'm the bad guy? And you're going to give me dirty looks? And this person knows who I'm talking about. She's probably watching right now. And I'm the bad guy? Fuck you. Should be grateful you have a man like me that lives on this property, who stops people from taking fucking fentanyl, or finds out that people are taking fentanyl so it doesn't find its way onto this property, who stops people with fucking knives in their hands from killing their fellow neighbors. This is the godless world we live in, where the good guy always seems to be the fucking villain in everything. Like Daniel Penny and Kyle Rittenhouse and Jose Alba. Facts, facts, facts. That's why I made this live stream. I get so sick and tired of being challenged with shit like this. Where are you? Did I put it back in the box? Yes, I did. I get so sick and tired of being challenged with shit like this. I'll even flip the image over. I get so sick and tired of being fucking challenged by people that think they know better than I do. There you go. $68. Oh, we got a response. Let's see what this is about. Oh, jeez, this person is persistent. They're like, and here comes the so-called collector's logic. The so-called collector's logic. Well, the listing, it last sold 3 months ago for that price. Well, yeah, you don't see any deviation in the price. It's a straight line. That means the price hasn't changed at all. It's my card, and I choose to sell it for what it last sold for. Unless there's a deviation in the price of someone else's card that I see, That price is the baseline for which I'm going to sell this card. Now, I threw him an offer for $65. Let's see what happens. If you hear that cha-ching again. And I told him straight up, my card, my price. I'll offer you $65 for it, but that's as low as I go. Because as long as this line stays straight, and you know how a lot of cards go. They go like this, like a sine curve. Sometimes with these graphs and markings and things like that. Well, guess what? In this case, it hasn't budged. It hasn't moved in 3 months. So now they're trying to be slick and say, well, that's what it sold for 3 months ago. Well, yeah, that means it has a consistent price. That means either none of them have been sold since that price, or they are consistently selling at $68. When I'm right, I'm right. Well, I offered them a $65 price tag. I'm not going any lower than that. I do kind of like these battles midstream. I never know what I will see here. Yeah, I don't like doing, I hate this crap because people just insist that they're right. I just want to be right. I want to be right. This is somebody that sees that this card, what is it going for in a PSA 9? 160, which means in a PSA 10, which I haven't comped it as a PSA 10. So it's already, what's that, 68 and 68, that's $126, right? No, I'm sorry, $136. No. Yeah, $136. So it would be half for a PSA 9 almost. A PSA 10 is probably pushing over $200 and something. And that's their goal. They want to get it for a low price so that they can take it and flip it, try to get a PSA 9 or a PSA 10, and then probably resell the card later on. I have to make my money first. It's my card. I set the price. How hard is this? Seriously. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. This is just like that card with that video that went around recently with this young kid at a card show going up against this old timer. He said he's not interested in comps. They're his cards. I'm on the seller's side. If I were to sell this for $200, yeah, then that would make me an ass. Then everyone would complain and I probably would lose my business and lose my clientele. But I think I'm pretty fair. So now what's going to end up happening is with this particular listing, once this live stream is over, I'm going to take that screen capture for which I just printed out for all of you to see, and I'm going to add it to the listing. Like I did with the Barry Bonds auto, and I finally was able to sell that card because I showed that that's what it's going for. Here's the logic as to where I priced it. I might go a little bit under my own price, which I did. I finally agreed to $800 for that card. But facts, data, statistics. There you go. How hard is it? There's a reason why eBay built that card ladder scanner into the app. And it's not just it's not just that scanning tool I use. I use Sports Card Pro. I'll do a Google search on it. I'll do all sorts of stuff to price my cards. But that is currently where the card sits until I see something different. How hard is it? So I threw the person a $65 offer. They're probably going to straight up refuse. I'm not selling it for anything less. Here's a $100 Paw Patrol PP1, Aaron Judge. I sold one for $85. This is the last one in my collection in my PC. The price has gone up on these. They're now $100. Yeah, but you sold it for $85 the last time. Well, that's because the price went up, and it shows it on Card Ladder. It shows it on the eBay app. It shows it when I scan it to comp the card, something like this. Clearly, it says $100 as of this month, to be honest with you. Ooh, somebody got served. Oh, that's our new in-house security. Oh, good. Oh, nothing makes me feel better. I'm so happy that they did that. We now have in-house security that patrols the property now. Thank God. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I had just a little side note. I had a little chit chat with our local police in the Walmart parking lot about some of the fuck shit that's been going on over there. If I've seen anything, that I see anybody drinking, do I see anybody doing drugs or urinating or whatever it is, and it's so nice that finally I feel better. you know, with all I'm not trying to be a community leader. I'm not trying to be somebody to look up to. I'm not trying to be a mentor. Some people have coined me Wyatt Earp, the Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp. They've coined me Batman around here. I don't like that. It's just when I see bullshit, I'm not the type of person to just sit there idly by and let somebody get hurt or the potential to be hurt. That's not me, man. I don't do that. I really don't do that. I can't. But at least now that they got security, it's like, man, I feel so relaxed. You know what it is? Because most people here, I'll be honest with you, they're very quiet people. Fun loving, they want to laugh, they want to joke, they don't want to be serious. I mean, I'm not saying they're immature. What I'm saying is that, they just want to live their lives in peace. Most people here are God fearing, very religious folks. A lot of people here are churchgoers. They don't want to be bothered with drama and fights and violence and drugs and alcoholism and all that stuff. And if they do drink, they want to do it together in a good environment. But you do have a certain excuse me, a certain group of individuals here that simply doesn't give a shit. So that made me happy to see that. That was good. That's awesome. That's what we need. But I wish they were here on the weekend when all that bullshit happened, when that fucking group of kids came in here. But I'm not disparaging the property. I'm not bad-mouthing the property, not disparaging the property. I'm not trying to make the place look bad. I love this place. That's why I moved here. It's got the view I have is second to none. I see everything. I see everyone. Everything to me is convenient. You got Walmart next door. You got 2 Chinese restaurants. You got Outback Steakhouse. You got Empire Pizza. You got Dollar Tree. You got Family Dollar. You got the post office here. There's a little bit of everything within walking distance. You got the hospital, the police department, and the fire department right here, just in case there's an emergency. So I wouldn't ask for anything better. That's what makes it hard for me to decide whether or not I'm going to move from here. At the end of my lease, I don't know yet. Too much stuff has happened personally. It's not the property. It's the people that live here that fucked it up for me. I'm just going to say it point blank. It's the people that messed it up for me. My buddy next door, he's bought a house. Oh shit! Here we go again. Let's see what the response is, folks. You ready? I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I should print out this response. You know what? Give me another second, folks. I'm going to screen capture with the nasty response that he just gave me. Hold on. Oop. How do I get rid of this? Give me one. I'm back. There's one more thing I want to do. I'll be right back. All right, folks, hold on there one second. Let me get you the response. You're going to like this one. By the way, if you're having a good time watching this, because now the conversation has taken a shift. This is not what I wanted to talk about, but fuck it. We might as well roll with it, right, folks? I guess you want to call that fate? Then let's do it. Before I grab this last piece of paper over here, because what this person wrote is just talking about entitlement. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. 4 of you did already. Thank you for that. Get that number up to 5, 6, 7, 8. Whatever you can do helps. Check out my eBay store, the Carolina Collector 001. The link is in the description below. Let's get the response to this conversation now. The fucking entitlement. This is entitlement. They think they're entitled to tell me what I can. Listen to the nasty response. So remember I said I was going to offer it to him for $65, $5 off. How much more fucking money do you want me to make it cheaper for? $5 off. Why even make an offer button? Sorry, but I will pass. Good luck and hopefully you get some experience in this business. So my response was, how many sales do I have? Nearly 3,000. Oops. Here you go. Talk about entitlement. I've sold nearly 3,000 items to date. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm doing. This person wants something for nothing and they're not going to get it. The price is fixed. And that's that. Tough shit. Tough cookies. The entitlement with some of these people. I need to make my money. You really think I'm not born yesterday. I'm not a sucker. I run a business. I will give discounts to my customers. I'll give like 5% off. I'll give $10 off here. But we're talking about a card that is clearly valued at $68. And it's a flat line. In other words, the value hasn't changed. The value has not changed. And that's coming from two different sources that I use. That price is firm. But the entire good luck, and hopefully you get some experience in this business. Yeah, in other words, you want something for nothing. You want something that you can't have, or you have something you can't afford. Or you're one of these eBay flippers that's looking to flip my card for twice what I'm selling it for, which I've seen happen in the past. That's why I'm very careful about the offers I offer. Or this person is trying to slab it, and the current PSA 9 is $130, which probably a PSA 10 might be double that. I don't know. Typically they are. Not happening, motherfucker. God, these people are just the entitlement. The absolute entitlement. Why do you even have an offer button? I gave you a $5 discount off on the card. How much more you want? What do you want? Your fucking feet washed too? You want what do you want? Caviar and shrimp? A shrimp cocktail? The fuck out of here. The nerve of these people. Everybody wants something for nothing. I know the economy sucks. I got bills to pay and everything else, but the nerve of this fucking person. The price is firm, whether it was 3 months ago or 3 years ago. Using two different price guides, that's how I came up with that price. And they want it for nothing. It's not happening. It's my card, it's my property, and I'll sell it for what I want. The nerve of these people. The entitled language. Why even make an offer button? Because it's my card. Duh. These people are fucking retards. It's my card. I'll sell my stuff for what I want to sell it for. When did these people all of a sudden think they have the right to tell sellers what to go do with themselves? This is why I try to price my cards as fairly as possible. I just realized something here, folks. Remember, I just did a review of this Starship, right? The Enterprise G. They sold out already. All right. I waited 6 to 8 months to be able to get one of these without getting a subscription from Fan Home. I finally got it. Did a review on it. Beautiful ship. With shipping and everything like that, it came out to like $108 or whatever it was. So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous Starship. They sold out within 48 hours of me ordering mine. If you go on a Fan Home's website, sold out again. And then you go on eBay, you look up Fan Home Enterprise G. All of you can do it right now. You're going to see multiple copies of that ship now being sold that were bought and being flipped because they actually think that people are that dumb and that gullible This is a non-necessity. This is not a necessity. I don't need this ship. I bought it because I'm a fan of Star Trek. And it took me 6 to 8 months to wait until this thing was relisted on FanHome's website. So I didn't pay no $250 for a $100 ship. That's what 1.5 times more than what the fucking thing costs retail. Are you out of here? And some people are selling it for $300. Buying something for nothing and then flipping it. Sorry, I'm no sucker, and I'm not, in this case with my business, this is the one place where I'm standing firm. I'm not selling something for nothing. Not going to sell something for nothing for somebody to just go and flip it, or go, at least if he would have said, hey, listen, I intend on slabbing this thing. What's your absolute bottom? In other words, fucking decorum. Have some professionalism and decorum. This language, good luck, and hopefully you get some experience in this business. After selling close to 3,000 items, I'll pay what comps tell me. I showed you comp. It's right there, idiot. And I sent him this, and still, God, people are just, they actually think they're entitled to get something for nothing. They're fucking baseball cards, first off. Second off, they're my baseball cards. And third, you're not going to make money off of me. After you buy the card at the price that I set based on the sources that I utilize, it may appreciate 3 to 6 months down the line. And then congratulations, you finally made your money. But at this point in time, the card belongs to me. I will sell it for what I am selling it for. Tough shit if you don't like it. That's why I tell people, don't fall for this kind of bullshit, especially if you're a seller. In this case, this is someone buying something for nothing. Retail value of this thing is like $108. I should know. I bought it from the FanHome website. At retail. And they're being flipped for $250 to $300 right now. I dare anybody to go on eBay. Look up this ship. Not the USS Titan, the Enterprise GXL. And you'll see it being sold for $250 to $300. And also, another note that you got to be careful with here, folks, is the fucking shipping price. If they are a seller selling here from the United States, the more expensive option obviously is priority mail. You shouldn't be paying more than $15 to $16 shipping for priority mail, and no more than $8 to $10 for fucking ground advantage. So if you see these sellers, because I've seen a couple people try to fucking ship things for $30 to $40. A box only costs like $1. These boxes here, you get them for free at the post office. All they're really going to do is just slap a label onto the FanHome box. Take off their label or cover it up or wrap it up or something like that and conceal the fact that the box they're shipping this Enterprise G in comes from FanHome, and they're just going to cover it up. These are $95 plus shipping, taxes, all that kind of stuff. You shouldn't be paying more than I think $108, $110. No $250, no $275, and certainly no $300. That's bullshit. These people really think I'm going to sell this card for next to nothing so that they can take it and flip it and rip somebody else off? Fuck you. Pay the piper. This is what it's valued at. That's what this card is priced at currently. Too bad. Fucking cheap fucks. The fucking greed. That's another one of the 7 deadly sins. Greed. And lust. This is a form of lust. And gluttony at the same time. I think that this issue checks off 3 of the 7 deadly sins: gluttony, lust, and greed. Be careful with this stuff, folks. So I'm very open and transparent about my business. And I try to be fair. I price the cards accordingly. But I bought a card that was in Canada, and I didn't realize that it cost me a fortune to get it delivered. Yeah, guys and gals that are out there, please watch the fucking price of the shipping of some of these cards. If you're here within the lower 48 states, all right, when it comes to baseball cards, okay, up to $20, you should not have to pay more than 78 cents to $1 and change for one card. Now, if the card is valued $20 or more, eBay automatically enforces ground shipping. Okay? But you should not be paying $10, $15, $20 for a damn baseball card as far as the shipping is concerned. In my case, the only reason why I raised the cost from 74 to 78 cents to $1.03 to $1.07 is because of the amount of returns I was getting with the post office trying to hustle for more postage, which has cost me a little bit of money recently because of that. The Yanir Diaz paper stock, the SSP from Topps flagship, that card got sent back to me. The customer messaged me saying, and I'm like, oh shit, I have a stack of cards. And sure enough, I look and there's his card. I open up the envelope. There's his name. It's got the fucking sticker on it with the index finger pointing down like this from the post office, hustling for more postage. I had no choice but to raise the prices because of the post office, not because of anything I did. It's the post office. You have to be careful with these sort of things, folks. You got people that will try to ship items like this for $50 or more. Believe me, that box and that shipping cost does not cost $50 if they're using priority mail or they're using Ground Advantage. Ground Advantage for a box that's about this big. This is a medium-sized priority mailbox. This box already has a price built into it. I think it's $15, something like that. I forget. But if you get a plain brown box that's the same size, you're only going to be paying like $8 to $10 for shipping. Watch the shipping. That's the biggest scam that exists on eBay, where instead of charging proper shipping, that's why I did that live stream like I did when I was packing my recent orders. You see everything I do. I measure the boxes. Sometimes the boxes have the measurements on them. You have to round up to the nearest inch. When it comes to pounds and ounces, you have to round up to the nearest ounce and or the nearest pound. Otherwise, your customer will get charged, or you, the seller, will get back charged. But a lot of these boxes and stuff depends on size and weight, unless they're in a post office priority mailbox. I think this one is what, up to 70 pounds? For domestic shipments, maximum weight is 70 pounds. International shipments, maximum weight 20 pounds. Okay, so I was correct. Again, I know this shit inside and out. And you could tell that this person is not happy that they couldn't win over me because they think I'm a sucker. Sorry. And I'm sure that'll piss them off to see I got almost 3,000 sales. I can't believe the fucking nerve of this idiot. How many sales do I have? Nearly 3,000. Oops. Gluttony, lust, and greed. 3 of the 7 deadly sins wrapped up into one. And I am right. Aren't these people just cute? You know, and there is a way to speak to someone. There is such a thing called decorum. But now that that person defaulted to fucking insults, let him go somewhere else to find that card. The last refuge is someone without a logical argument. At least the person could have said, if they would have put it and worded it this way, you know, your price seems to be a little too much. Would you be willing to consider coming down on your price? Say, like, come down on it to about $50, and I might consider it. And I probably would. I would have come down on my price and negotiated for that car, but not for $30. Fuck you. You're trying to get it for less than half of what it's priced at and what it's valued at currently at this point in time. It's not easy, folks, running an eBay business, and this sports card hobby is getting worse and worse. It's getting more and more greedy. It's getting more and more out of control, and it really sours the milk. It really sours the milk. Things have a value attached to them for a reason. This card has appreciated in value. It was $85. That's what I sold the one of the 2 copies that I have. And now that I look on that scanning app, this thing has gone up to $100. And there was a sale this month on eBay for that price. So what do you think? If I were to sell this right now, what do you think I'm going to price it at? $100. These people just don't seem to understand how this works. That the entitlement is out of control. That's why when I have good customers, like with those orders I had yesterday, I put freebies into the card orders. I gave them each customer that ordered 5 cards. One customer ordered the 2 Mason wins, so technically that was a 6-card order. But they still got a couple free cards off of me because I'm appreciative of that. Don't come with a nasty attitude. Well, this conversation went off the rails. I was hoping to get more into a little bit more philosophical ground here, but unfortunately, people are what they are. Unintelligent, unenlightened fucking Neanderthals. That's how it is. That's unfortunately how it is, folks. Trying to get something.
Man, I heard you downstairs.
Yeah, now I got people trying to rip me off on eBay again. Yeah, I'm live streaming on YouTube right now. So some idiot, I already tore the piece of paper up to prove a point, where this card is a red out of 75. In other words, there's only 75 of these autographs, right? They're currently valued at $68.
Okay.
So I'm selling mine for $70, $2 more than what it is. The listing, that's another thing, folks. Listing fees, taxes. All right. I also have to pay for the top loaders and the penny sleeves. I have to pay for the envelopes. All of that stuff is included, right? So anyway, this one person messages me during this live stream looking to get this card for $30. I'm like, the card is valued at $68. Well, I only buy at comps. Comps is a term that sports card collectors use. Comps basically means that, comparative pricing, basically.
Okay.
So there's no other cards out there currently. This one is up for sale right now. And for the past 3 months, it's been valued at $68. And I showed the price guide that I use. But this person with a nasty attitude came at me saying, you're pricing it too much. And I said, you know what? I'll give you $5 off on the card. That wasn't good enough.
Oh, wow.
So he says, well, you should know this business a little bit better. Good luck to you. And I'm like, oh, really? So I messaged back and I printed out the conversation and showed it to my audience. And I said, well, I have over 3,000 sales that I should know better. Oh, really? With 3,000 sales, I'm a power seller on eBay. I know what I'm doing. People are just fucking ridiculous, man. And I deal with this stuff all the time.
You got $2.
Not on me.
Okay.
Not on me. Sorry.
I'll try to get out.
I do. I just don't want to give it to her. And that was an example of the begging that I've had to deal with on a regular basis. I just gave her $2 the other day, claiming it was for a bus. 2 days later, she's up here again asking for more. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is why I might move. This is why I'm really considering wanting to move. I can't be everybody's fucking supply chain. And this is what makes me shrew when it comes to my eBay business and in my personal life. Somebody said, how come you don't forgive your ex? No, this is somebody else. This is someone else. I'm not going to mention names here. This is This is one of the more civilized people, but unfortunately, she too is part of this group that formerly homeless, like I was, except I made something out of myself after all that happened. And she comes up all the time begging for food and money, and this time I've had to say no, and you just heard me on camera. I don't have it. I do have it. I'm tired of giving things away. And this is what's going to drive me to move. One of many reasons why I can't live here anymore. I can't leave my front door open because then this becomes a fucking outpost of freebies, and that I can't do it no more. It's another situation just like this. You're all watching this in real time, folks. This is all happening in real time. And now you heard it. Another example of what I've been talking about. And I don't need to prove myself to anybody. It gets fucking annoying after a while. I can't do it. It's a drain on my resources because I have to take care of me first. I just read that comment. She might be the one trying to buy that card. No, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't bet on that. And by the way, I haven't got a response from this individual. Since I posted that, I've sold 3,000 items almost on eBay. So I don't know what I'm doing. Right. I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't grab myself some sugar-free Red Bull. Excuse me, folks. I think I need a little pick-me-up. And I'm also trying to decide what to have for supper. Holy cow. Really? Oh shit, it's almost 5:30 already. Oh my god, man. Time does go by quickly. Well, you heard it in real time. You all heard it in real time. I can't even keep my front door open. I can't even keep my front door open. It sucks. It really sucks because I feel cornered. I feel trapped, and it's not fair to me. It's not fair to me. And now you folks are seeing it in real time. And hearing it in real time, how either people try to fucking take advantage of me or they come up here because they need something. It's awful, man. It's really awful, and it's going to drive me to leave. It's going to drive me to move from here, and I don't want to move because it's such a beautiful place. I'm comfortable. I've never felt happier. I love the view from outside when the trees bloom. It looks beautiful, and the trees are blooming right now. And we got much needed rain today. We needed to get the water table up here in the Carolinas, specifically in Charlotte. You know, the pool will be opening in like another month or two. I think the pool opens up in May or June. I forget. I think June it opens up. I don't remember. But this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm a fucking hostage here. I can't even leave my own front door open without somebody hitting me up for something or needing something or wanting something. Now you heard it. It's not a joke. I don't talk out of my ass. It's very hard on me. Because I can't have people constantly coming up here fucking, hosing me down and fucking using me for my shit. And shaking me down for stuff. People like this, she's a nice lady and all, but, let's face it, she wastes her money on booze and fucking beer and weed and everything else. I can't be a fucking enabler. I don't know. I don't know. Well, at least somebody heard it and somebody witnessed it. And I'm glad all of you heard it and witnessed it. And when I say things, they are the truth. Now you just heard it. And now you saw it on camera. How I got people trying to rip me off all the time for my sports cards. There's the response. Let's see. I'm not even going to bother responding to this person. It's going to lead to me blocking them. It is what it is, because you know, you get sick and tired of being used and taken advantage of and taken for granted. That's why I wanted to make this live stream. That was the original intent of this live stream. Because I'm so fucking sick and tired of people and their bullshit. It's hard to believe in a God when you have these things around you like this. I used to be homeless. I didn't ask to be homeless. I was homeless because of the things that happened. Because of the lies, deceit, and betrayal of the people of my former home, what was done to me. And yet, look what I did. I rebuilt everything from scratch and started a brand new life here. I've been here for 10 years now in North Carolina this year. But the fucking world still keeps nipping at my ankles. It's like, when do I get a break? When do I get a break? When do I get a break? I got the Catholic or Christian crucifix hanging above my window. You know, I talk to my dad, even though my dad's gone. It makes me wonder, is he gone, or is he truly, you know, a spirit? Is his soul here? All that kind of stuff. And when things like this happen, like what just happened now, it's like, God, I can't even leave my front door open without somebody coming up here hassling me for shit. Money, food, beer, rubbing alcohol, like easy shit that costs like $1. Besides my upstairs neighbor, my downstairs neighbor, this guy up here, and my buddy that lives upstairs, nobody else has a car. Nobody else has a car. How do you survive without a car? Y'all want car rides for me. I can't do it. That's why I don't drive my car. My car is genuinely fucked up. That's not a lie. There's a problem with the electrical system in my car. I'm just sick and tired of pouring money into it. But I'm tired of people, you know, harassing me for car rides, for food, for beer. And now you heard it yourself. Didn't care less about anything I said about what I'm talking about here on YouTube. She only came up here. She didn't come up here to say hi. She came up here to fucking shake me down. And I won't see her again until she needs something else. And that goes for the rest of the fucking jokers that live around me. It's like being a prisoner in your own home. I can't, if I leave my door open or I turn on, like I got my St. Patrick's lights on right now, the whole patio's lit up green. They wait for those lights to come on because it's a telltale sign that I'm home, which means I can't enjoy myself putting on my own fucking lights, and then it sucks. It's awful. It's really awful. It's very sad, actually. I'm a prisoner in my own home. And it was never like this. It was never like this. It's been like this for the past fucking almost year and a half. That since I moved back to this property almost 2-3 years ago. It's very sad. And now you heard it yourselves. It's an awful reality of where I live. It was never like this before. I can't even leave my front door open and enjoy that nice breeze coming into my home. That I have to lock myself up at home, shut the fucking windows, turn my lights off outside, so I'm not shaken down for fucking money, food, and booze and beer. It's bullshit. It's very difficult, folks. And now you all saw what happened on eBay. I know this person responded. I wonder what the response was on eBay. Been a fun stream. Hate to see you sad at the end of this. Yeah, it sucks. Oh, was it Vacuum Woman again? No, this is somebody else, unfortunately, that has a reputation of just always coming around at the wrong times. And now everybody heard it, what I've been talking about, where I get sick and tired of people coming up to my home and begging me for fucking money, begging me for fucking food, begging me for this, begging me for that. I've had enough, man. But no, it's not Vacuum Woman. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome for that. Yeah, I had, not every, it's what sucks when things like this happen. I really wanted to get into a philosophical discussion about religion and hobbies and things like that. And then all of a sudden it goes off the rails because of other people's bullshit. And now everybody just heard what transpired there. That she didn't give a shit if I was live streaming. I could have been in here with another woman making love to her on my couch. All she cared about is hitting me up for money. Whether it's 2 cents or $2, I mean, it's like not fair to me. And then in real time, with this person on eBay, trying to get what is essentially a $70 card for $30. Even after showing the price guide, after showing the graph, after showing the comp for the damn thing, the attitude, the entitlement of this person. And these are the things I deal with. I wasn't kidding. This woman couldn't have cared less about what I was talking about just now. Is this the paper? Yeah, this is. I mean, you can always go back and watch this live stream later on. I'm not gonna bother trying to pull all this apart. You can always go back and watch it where in real time I was printing out all of the cocky, slarmy comments that this person was leaving me just to get that card for cheap. Things are valued what they're valued at. I don't set the prices. I only go through the price guides. I look at what these cards are selling for or what they have sold for, and I use that as a basis to sell my cards. Well, that was 3 months ago, but there hasn't been any movement or sales on it, so that's the baseline for the fucking price of the card. Nimwit. Fucking Nimrod. And then tell me, what was it? I need more experience after selling 3,000 items. I need more experience. Yeah, okay, sure, right. I need more experience. What you need is to get a better job so you can afford more shit, dirtbag. Again, I hate to sound like a Ken Golden here, but things are priced at what they're priced at. I am reasonable in my prices, but the way this person came at that, nope. This is what's going to drive, but this other thing that just happened now live on camera, it's things like this that are going to drive me to want to move. Tone 2335. You see the Shohei Bowman rookie PSA is hitting $5,000. Yeah, I've talked about that in several videos. I actually have one myself. I can't believe that. I mean, I don't think Japan getting knocked out of the WBC is going to have any impact whatsoever on his cards. I mean, he's what, three-time MVP now at this point? He's got several World Series rings now. I think he's beyond having to prove himself at this point. So if you're sitting on one of them like I am, you're doing pretty good. But yeah, I've been watching very carefully. I think one Shohei Ohtani sold for like $4,500 recently. That's insane for a Bowman Chrome batting rookie. But that's what they're going for. That's what they're going for. $4,500, man. Jeez. Believe me when I tell you, the last of my slabs, I am so tempted to sell off because of what they're going for now. It would pay for a new car in a day if I would find the proper buyers for these. Unless I had, the bozo that was trying to get a $70 card for $30. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, $5,000 for a batting chrome rookie, and the population now is over 5,000 of them now are in the population. I can actually check the population right now. Before I do that, let me go grab mine. $5,000. $5,000. Imagine. There he is. That's it right there. Bowman Chrome batting rookie. That is insane. Right there is half a down. That's a down payment on a new or decently used car right there. That's why I really am tempted. Like the cards I have, these are the last of the slabs. I wanted, at this point in my collecting experience, the hobby's fallen apart at the seams, especially now. Apparently, from what I've been seeing, Neo Cards and Comics put out a video. I saw, well, Dan the Card Man kind of messed up on something where he was kind of like complaining about the shipping from ComC or somebody like that. What he doesn't say, and I'm not bashing Dan the Card Man. He's proved himself 1,000 times over in the hobby, watching out for fuck shit that goes on. But his assessment on the increasing prices on the shipping of sports cards through ComC, you have to realize as a seller, all sellers are a hostage to the post office. Unfortunately, no matter what service you use, FedEx, UPS, the U.S. Postal Service, we are all slaves to those services. And we all have to, unfortunately, we're all slaves to their shipping rates and how they go about shit. We know that they're a mess, but they're the ones that are the fucking gatekeepers, unfortunately. And Dan the Card Man missed out on that. It should have identified that almost immediately. So that segment in his video he released today, I really don't agree with people. Yeah, it is frustrating. I'll give him that much. But again, this is not me bashing him or disparaging him or anything like that. But you have to realize that we as sellers, no matter how big or how small you are, we are all held hostage by the post office, unfortunately. There's nothing we can do. We're all held hostage by the shipping companies. There's nothing we can do. So, anyway, shameless plug time. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Much appreciation to all of you who have done so already. Also, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. That also counts for my videos and channel to circulate into the algorithm. And again, check out my eBay store, the Carolina Collector 001. The link is in the description box of every video, short and live stream that I do here on YouTube. But always, always, always hit that like button, folks. That's one of the more important things, including subscribing. By the way, we are making a slow crawl towards 1,600 subscribers. So every subscription helps. Thank you, everybody who's done so already. Much appreciated. Shameless e-beg over. For now. But yeah, I mean, what I have in my hand right now could buy me a new pickup truck. Just with these 5 slabs alone, if I were to sell them. And I kept these 5 for a reason. The Shohei batting, the Don Mattingly rookie, which now is selling at approximately $1,800 in a PSA 10. The Griffey needs no explanation. The Paul Skeens red refractor at Fanatics Live sold for $3,200 or $3,400, and this is the Mojo version of that card. So it would probably fetch about $3,400 to $3,600 if I were to sell this right now. But again, at Fanatics, and of course I have the receipts to prove it, it did sell, I think, for $3,200 as far as the base red out of 5 is concerned of Paul Skeens, and then the Aaron Judge SGC 10 Bowman Chrome prospect refractor. So, oh, did you see they finally found the, speaking of Aaron Judge, again, I guess talking about this subject is out the door. Did you see that the Bowman Chrome superfractor was found by some guy who didn't even know what he had, and now that Bowman Chrome refractor sold for millions? I think it came out a PSA 8 or a PSA 9. No, I'm sorry, that's a lie. It was a BGS, I think a BGS 9 or BGS 8. I forget. Somebody showed it on camera. It was a superfractor auto of Aaron Judge. It sold for millions. And the guy had it in his collection, didn't even know what it was. And he took it to a dealer, and the dealer said, I'll give you so much for it. He's like, okay, sure. He's like, well, I'm not going to sell it to you for that much because that card is worth way more than what I can offer you. And that's a good dealer right there. Whoever told this person who owned that Aaron Judge superfractor auto, that's a good person, man. That's an honest person. See, me, if I were the owner of that Aaron Judge superfractor auto, I probably would have went back to that dealer and thrown him a bone as a thank you. You know what I mean? For being honest. So that's what I would have done. But this Aaron Judge currently is sitting at $1,600 in an SGC 10, whereas a PSA 10, I think, is going for like $2,100 or $2,200, something like that. But I can tell you, if I were to ship this off to PSA to have it reholdered, I can tell you now it's not going to get a 10. This would never get a 10, and I'll tell you why. The front is within that 55-45. The back is not. Top to bottom centering, well, it depends on your perspective, left to right, actually. The hawk-eyed out there will see that it's slightly off-center and it's favoring this side of the card. So this would never be a PSA 10. This would come back a PSA 9. And that's what's frustrating because, you know, I look at my dad's vintage collection. I look at his Hank Aaron and his Mickey Mantle cards, and I want to get my dad's cards slabbed up. But all of this fuck shit that's going on in the hobby right now, I'm so cynical when it comes to sending in cards that get slabbed, especially with PSA. What Teapot did from Sports Card Investor or Cards HQ, I give Teapot a lot of credit. He exposed a lot of things with these grading companies, and it's made me very apprehensive about sending in my dad's vintage collection to any of the grading companies. Because who knows what's a true grade. I can tell you now, this PSA 10 Ken Griffey, it's definitely not a 10. And you know how I know that? This was done with the older standards. Look at the hologram on the back. That's nowhere near center or perfect. A PSA 10 means absolute perfection, and that's definitely not perfect. So this was done with the old PSA standards. I'm kind of curious to know. I'll be right back, folks. Let me check the population number on the Shohei Ohtani card. Wow. The population number on a PSA 10 Shohei Ohtani Bowman Chrome rookie. There are 4,000 and change of these. There are now over 5,000 PSA 10 Shohei Ohtanis. 5,000 of them. That's insane. Yeah, see, that's a good point too. AI and all that kind of stuff at some point would be real. Yeah, I agree. Where's the boundary? Where's the line in the sand when it comes to a card looking good as far as eye appeal is concerned? That was the beauty of SGC. When I was sending cards in to get graded by SGC, they allowed, certain imperfections if it was something with the manufacturing and it wasn't too distracting with the eye. SGC was good at that. They allowed those little imperfections. Whereas PSA have now got so strict with their grading, who knows what's a real PSA 10 anymore? I know that this is an older King Griffey. I mean, even though it's got the Lighthouse label on it, a lot of these don't have that Lighthouse label on there or have that PSA emblem on there. But these days, as the technology gets more and more advanced, you're going to see less and less PSA 10s out there. The pop control on these cards is going to get so out of hand, nobody's going to grade anymore. But unfortunately, a lot of people have put so much money into the hobby at this point. They're basically a slave to it now. A lot of these, I mean, well, look what happened with Pac-Man, for example, what he did. I don't want to hear you're poor. Why would you put that in there? I don't want to hear you're poor. You have to buy my cards. You don't do that to fucking people. Unless you're being an ass, like what happened here today in the live stream with this person trying to get a $70 card for $30. That's not happening. It's ridiculous. It's going to be more and more and more difficult to gem cards. I already know my dad's vintage cards will never be 10s. They'll be like, if I were to send them to SGC, a lot of them are going to be like 1s, 2s, and 3s. The Hank Aaron, maybe a 4, maybe a 5, if I'm lucky. But I want to do that more to preserve those cards because those are more my dad's cards than anything else. And those aren't leaving my hands. I wonder what would happen if I tried to sell this on eBay. The Paul Skeens Red Mojo Fractor, 2 out of 5, PSA 10. Again, the base red refractor out of 5 over at Fanatics sold for $3,200. This would definitely have to be at least $3,400 to $3,500 as a Mojo. And then, of course, you got your mini diamonds, your shimmers, all that kind of stuff. I should commit myself to an experiment to see what would happen if I were to try to sell this on eBay and actually include a screen capture of the Fanatic sale of the red refractor, the base red refractor like this. I wonder what would happen. But then this one would really like upset me if I sold this thing. I love this card, man. He's still a monster. Even in a WBC, he's still impressive. Yikes. I wish I would have saved Skeens for the final. But, whatever. What time is it here, folks? It's almost 6 o'clock. So, I've been on here for 2 hours now, live streaming, folks. Again, this live stream wasn't exactly what I intended. But I appreciate all of you showing up anyways. Again, I don't talk out of my ass. When I say things, and I'm telling you about my life experiences and whatnot, you hear it yourselves. And now you heard it today. You saw it on camera with somebody trying to get over on me. You heard somebody come up to my door begging me for money. It's very, very, very screwed up. They needed him against the Dominican Republic, dude. Soto and Austin Wells and all them guys, man. No, hell yeah, of course. I understand why they did it. I mean, yeah, that was a pretty sick squad. But we'll see what happens for the final here, folks. I'm starting to lose my voice here a little bit. I've been talking nonstop for a little over 2 hours now. But again, everybody, thank you very much for your support of myself. More importantly, thank you for supporting each other as hobbyists that are into this kind of stuff, no matter what hobby you're into. I don't care about your political affiliation. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care how big or small you are or any of that bullshit. It's the hobbies really that can bring people together like this. All that other nonsense, to me, I only bring up politics only in certain circumstances. But at the end of the day, everyone likes something to get them away from this bullshit, like what you saw today and heard today. People begging me for fucking money. It's like, it sucks. And you thought I was kidding. It's like what happened with my ex on Valentine's Day. I wasn't kidding. You all saw the photos and memes I've made and the memes I put up on my community page. It's not a lie. When I talk about things, it's not a lie. And now I got people trying to rip me off on eBay, trying to get something for nothing. So thank you all for taking the time to watch these live streams and watch my videos and all that kind of stuff. If it wasn't for these hobbies and these type of topics, one can actually go insane. I really don't want to get as emotional as I did when all this stuff happened with this girl. I wish it didn't happen. I wish I would have seen between the lines or read between the lines what her intentions really were. I can't even leave my own front door open without somebody coming up here begging for something. It's awful, man. I feel like I'm a prisoner in my own home sometimes. It was never like this. And that's what's convincing me to leave at the end of the year, or at least in 2027. I still got plenty of time to decide. And again, I'm not disparaging the property. It's just these individual people that are here. I look out my window, even now, the wind calmed down and everything, and it's beautiful out there. I love the view outside of my window. The trees are beginning to bloom. I can't wait for the pool to open up. There are a lot of great things. You see squirrels, deer, chipmunks. You hear crows in the background. You hear crows flying, or you see crows flying over your head. Bald eagles are flying around here now. At nighttime, owls are starting to come out. You hear them going, hoo, 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 at nighttime. But you see I'm telling the truth. When it comes to certain things, it sucks. It makes you question everything about your faith. When you have all these things going on around you, it's like, shit, man. Imagine this is every day. It's every day almost. It's awful. It's really awful. But to my fellow hobbyists and collectors, no matter what you're into, Pokemon, One Piece, if you're into hats, jerseys, t-shirts, sneakers, baseball cards, thank you for supporting each other and supporting the various hobbies, supporting this channel. The eBay store, of course, again, shameless eBay. I run a small business on eBay, the Carolina Collector 001. If you're interested, click on the link of any video, short, and live stream, and go check it out. that's pretty much it. I'm going to make myself some supper, folks. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. And I know I wanted to talk about religion and hobbies and all these different things and what have you. But what's going on, Matt Owen? Welcome aboard. That's a new name I haven't seen before. Thank you, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. Everyone, I again, I'm sorry the title of this live stream really wasn't the subject of it. The intention of this live stream was to talk about religion and hobbies, but unfortunately, you saw what happened today, and it turned into something else. So, are you a firefighter? No, I am not. I am not a firefighter. This is a 9/11 World Trade Center anniversary fan fitted hat that the Yankees wore. They had the NYPD ones. This is the FDNY one. I have the alternate version of this one with the red letters. I reviewed this on camera. I'll be right back, folks. Give me a second here. So this is the one I just got recently that I reviewed on the channel. So this one here is the one that they wore, I think, last year. But this is the fan version. There are certain changes that they made to the hat, like the player version on both of these hats would be black underneath the brim. The New York Yankees emblem, like this one is white, but the player version is much smaller on the player hat. Same thing like this hat. There would be a white emblem and it'd be much, much smaller than this. And that's pretty much it. And they of course, the player version, the new era logo would be white, not all black like that. So they did all this for a reason. But it's as close to what the Yankees would have wore on the field, at the time. So, I myself was at the Trade Center in 2001 from September 12th to September 16th. The first 5 days after the thing happened, when I used to live in New York, I now live in South Charlotte and all that stuff. And I bought this because I'm not just a Yankees fan, but it's because of my involvement at that site. And what do we got here now? We got some more cha-chinging. Hey, I made some money. Cool. Thank you, everybody, whoever bought them cards. I'll check it out in a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to end this live stream right here, folks. I'm hungry. And again, thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, new supporters, new eBay customers. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up. I'm on here quite regularly. I deeply, deeply, what's all that about? I deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate all of you folks, my eBay customers, my family, my friends, everybody who's out there. Thank you very much for that. God bless you all. Take care. Stay safe. Again, I am your host, the Carolina Collector. And I also appreciate the kind words many of you have left. Here, Tone, thank you very much for that sentiment as well. Thank you, everybody. It means a lot. I'll see you all very soon. Enjoy the rest of your night, folks.